be recorded. Now's the time to leave. Did that start? Did you get a message? Okay, there we go. All right, so we're recording. Good morning, everyone. This is the MHEC webinar for ARPA grants. We have our MHEC team here, led by Ryan and Janet and Rika, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're all set. We're here. We're ready to go. So they're going to tell you all about MHEC. The first thing that I'm going to do before they get started is post a link to our MHEC page in the chat. I'm sure Ryan will bring that up, but please be aware that in Vermont, you can just go to our MHEC page and get a great quick start guide. So that'll be available for you anytime. So I'll go ahead and let Ryan get started. Again, this is recorded, so you can go back and watch it again because I know you'll want to. And also, we'll have it archived on our page for anyone who wants to watch it. So please feel free to tell anyone about it who's not here today. So thanks very much, and we'll go ahead and get started with Ryan.
All right, thank you very much and good morning. I'm Ryan Kidder, Senior Strategic Sourcing Manager here at MHEC. I'm also the Library Contracts Portfolio Manager. And today we're going to talk about some ways that you can use the MHEC contracts for the rescue ARPA funds that your libraries will be receiving. So I'm joined here today by Janet Garavedian, our Business Development person, and as well as Rika Monzillo, another senior sourcing manager who has many years experience at MHEC. And one quick note, Rika has a hard stop at 10:45, so she may quietly leave the webinar towards the end. So you can reach me at my email address is rkidder@mhec.net, and my phone number is listed there as well. Okay, so for these funds, we're looking at some uncommon funds that you guys are getting, and you're likely not to be receiving these again or anytime soon, hopefully. So what we've been considering is what is the most cost-effective way to use these funds for your purchases, and some of those things have to do with MHEC contracts because you're going to get the most value for your dollar using our contracts because of the deep discounting. And not just the deep discounting, but the service that's provided along with those contracts. So we're here to provide you guidance through those contracts and help you select suppliers and dealers, and we are here to help you. So our MHEC contracts are simple, savvy, and diverse. They're simple because they're easy to use. Your procurement authority, the people who are filing the paperwork on behalf of that purchase, they can just take our contracts and they can use them in that manner without having to do much. So they're easy to use. They're going to become even easier to use as we roll out our new branding and landing pages. So each contract will have its own landing page that outlines our suppliers and the products and the pricing on those, which will be even simpler to use than they already are. MHEC contracts are savvy because we have over 300 years of collective professional experience in contracting at MHEC. And we have a team of 8 sourcing managers that works to source the best suppliers and get the best discountings available. So our contracts are diverse. We have over 50 contracts, not just library contracts, that represent over 700 suppliers. So as Tom was saying a little bit earlier, you can pretty much find anything that you need on an MHEC contract. So our discounts, we are competitively placed with our discounts with suppliers on the products that you use. So when we're creating these contracts, we're digging deep to make sure that we get the best bang for your buck service. We're here to help. So when you're purchasing from a supplier, if something happens to go wrong, with the order or delivery or something, we take that headache of dealing with that supplier off of your plate, and we deal with them ourselves on your behalf. So we let you do the job that you're there to do, and we do that job for you on this end. And that's really helpful when you have someone in your corner that's working to make sure everything is purchased correctly. And our contracts are accountable. our MHEC creates contracts that are procured in accordance with established laws, procurement laws, by certified public purchasing officials. So you don't need to worry about whether or not you can use these contracts. If they're legal to use, they're absolutely 100% legal and ready to use. So how do we use these contracts? And Tom, it was really good tie-in there. A good place to start is that quick start guide that Tom linked to in the chat. That comes from the Department of Libraries webpage. So you'll see in that quick start guide, basically what I'm talking about here is you go to the MHEC website, you use your credentials to log in, and then from there you can search through the contracts, by that list. And when you find the suppliers and the categories that you're looking for, you contact that supplier, whether that's through their website or a sales representative. And one thing I do want to stress is after you've given them your order, make sure that you tell them you're an MHEC member. Our suppliers are aware of our MHEC membership, but mistakes can happen, and we would hate to see you lose any kind of discounts because those suppliers didn't know that you were a member. So what we've heard from you is that basically you're looking primarily at things like technology, computers and networking and Wi-Fi, and furniture, indoor library space, chairs, tables, and maker space, air purification. So to comply with the construction piece of the ARPA funds, we have portable air purifiers and library collections, books, media, and supplies. For technology, we have computers and networking, and our FO5 technology contract carries all major brands, including Acer and Apple, Dell, Avaya, HP, Intel, Lenovo, NEC, and others. And so we have dozens of resellers that can help you customize whatever you need for your library, for your needs. So different setups, different types of computers. If you're doing Wi-Fi and network type infrastructure, although you can't do any construction, there's those mobile Wi-Fi options and things like that. So we have everything for computers, Wi-Fi, and networking. We have a sourcing manager who manages this contract, Alex Thurkelson, and he's knows everything about all of these resellers and suppliers. So that's what we can do for technology. Then we also have a furniture contract, which is CO7, and this is Rika Monzillo is the manager for this contract. And on this contract, furnishings and accessories, there's dozens of resellers. I mean, there's more than dozens. There's many. So you have a lot to choose from that can help to meet your needs through customized program as well, because pretty much every major brand of furniture and every type of furniture is on this contract. And this furniture is warranted. It's durable. It'll last for many years in your libraries. And Rika actually wanted to just mention something about the durability of this furniture. So.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we all know how many people come through a library every single year, and I caution everyone with the purchases that may come from places like Amazon or Wayfair. Those are not meant to last. They're really meant for home use. The other thing to consider is the chemicals we're all of a sudden putting on our furniture to try and disinfect and combat COVID. So these manufacturers are now really paying attention to that and making sure that the coverings are intended to take that sort of cleaning. So that's just a little food for thought because you're spending a lot of money on this furniture and you want it to be able to stay in your libraries for a few years anyway.
Thanks, Rika. And so on CO7, there's quite a few dealers, but in the Vermont kind of area, there's Creative Office Pavilion, DR Consultants, Exteris Business Furniture, Office Environments, Red Thread, WB Mason, and Rika would be more than happy to guide you to the right reseller dealer that would fit your needs the best. So Okay, so for air purification in those library spaces, we have many brands as well represented on our contracts, and we have assorted sizes and weights for these models. So anything from a kind of a tabletop air purifier to a room purifier, they range in size and weights from 3 to 35 pounds. And they can cover areas from 150 to 800 square feet. So these are portable units. There no construction is needed, and major brands we have for air purifiers are Honeywell, Fellows, Well Air, Guardian, Cilios, TheraPure, and these these air purifiers can be found on 2 contracts, G17 and AO1. So the sourcing manager for G17 is Scott Loomis, and Heather Ludden is the sourcing manager for AO1. And I believe Rika wanted to also mention something about the what to keep in mind when thinking about air purification.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy for us to hop on Amazon and try and pick up an air purifier. But what we have found, especially now with COVID, is that, again, not all air purifiers are made the same. So I would just caution you to consider that your libraries also have a lot of space above, not just the square footage you sit in, right? You have some high ceilings in some of those older libraries. Take advantage of our experts and let them help you find the right product for your space. That's what they're here for, and they're happy to do it. So I would just suggest you reach out to them and let them help you find the right piece if you're spending the funds on that.
Thanks, Rico. And so we get to library collections, and so our main library collections contract is L51, which is books and media. So if you're looking for a chance, with these funds to increase the amount of books you have part of your collections, whether that's physical books or digital content, on this contract that we cover all of that. So we have Ingram Library Services is on this contract, Baker and Taylor, Follett, Midwest Tape, ProQuest, Brodart, Blackstone Audio. And if you have any questions about any of the library contracts, I'm your sourcing manager for those. So I'm more than happy to help you find the right suppliers for your needs. And not just library books and media, but we have other library contracts as well. We have a library supplies and archival products and services contract with Demco and Reliance Barcode and others. L52 is our subscription management contract with WT Cox. L53 is equipment and software and services, and we have suppliers like Biblioteca there, and L54 digital technologies. And so actually now is a good time too, because we have each month we have a Save More that goes out where we have suppliers that do a little bit deeper discounting on certain contract items. And actually right now for L54, there is a Save More for 3D printer kits and supplies for those. I believe up to like 50% off of those. So if that's something that you were looking for your libraries, those are deeply discounted right now. And so we talked about some of the things that you guys were looking for, but that's not all we have. Like I said, we have over 50 contracts that cover the gamut there. So BO5 art supplies and graphic arts, G24 there's signage that could be wayfare, wayfinding signage, and graphic signage, things like that. G11 is flooring. F15 we have office supplies, promotional products, multimedia equipment, event equipment rentals. So if you're doing any kinds of events with tents or anything that needs to be rented for that, that's covered as well. G13 has moving and storage supplies. D32 has medical supplies, and the reason why we're kind of highlighting that is because they have AEDs available too, and those are necessary for libraries. And right now, AEDs are on the Save More as well for a discount on the AED, and they do come with the actual cabinets that house the AEDs as well right now for free. So. And that contract also has accessibility equipment that could be useful for the libraries too. And that assistive technology is for the vision and hearing impaired, and those are products that can be loaned to library patrons who, would need that assistive technology. So I know those are some of the highlights of the other contracts, but like I said, we cover pretty much anything that has to do with your building and beyond. So we are here to help. So if you don't know, just ask, and you can always contact me as the library contract portfolio manager, or you can reach out to those sourcing managers that I specifically mentioned for those other contracts. And we just want to make sure that you know what's available to you and that we're here for you. So thank you so much for coming today. And if there's any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, that's great. If there are questions from the audience, you're free to unmute yourself and ask, and you can turn your camera on if you like. One thing I want to kind of underscore about all of this is that virtually everything that's included in these contracts is at a significant discount. So you're going to see a much better price if you go through MHEC than you would through any kind of open net purchase. So I see Caleb has a question. Let me just read that. Would it be possible to get a list of the various sourcing managers' email addresses?
Absolutely. I can actually link to our staff directory, which will bring you right to our current staff directory here. Let's see if I can get into the chat.
Does that define what area of responsibility they are?
Yeah, that does not. So Rika,
they have a list I like that has all the categories with the category manager. It's not exactly updated, but there is it lists all the portfolio, who the contract manager, their email, and their telephone number. I'll send it to you, Ryan.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I will send that out as well. Okay.
If I may, for a moment, I think it's important to note that we'll give you that list, but if you forget everything and you just email us on the main member email address,
correct,
somebody will help you. You don't have to worry about not knowing the right contract manager. If you got to myself and it wasn't my contract, I'm still going to help you get the answer. We'll make sure we facilitate getting you connected to the right people and getting you what you need.
Yeah, I think that's an important point because MHEC contracts are so broad and deep, it can be a little overwhelming when you go to the site and you're just like, wow, there's so much stuff here. But you guys are there to help us figure out how and what and who, which I think is really awesome. So the way this works, and you guys feel free to jump in if I get a little off here, but the MHEC folks here are not just nice people who want to help you get discounts on stuff. They actually, the business model is that they sign up all these vendors to these contracts, and this is a multi-state compact between essentially all of New England at this point. I know that this replaced our Scoop purchasing cooperative, so it's been really good for us because there's so many more contracts and so many more things that we can buy and get discounts for. But part of the way that this works is that MHEC brings all these vendors into these contracts. The vendors agree to give discounts to members through those, so it's all very good for us. Doesn't cost us anything, but when someone purchases through the MHEC contract, then the vendor pays a portion of that to MHEC. Is that correct? Have I got that right?
Yes, that's correct. So we receive a 1% contract service fee on the net price. So after they've applied all the discounts for you, that's the dollar amount, and we receive a 1% contract service fee from that.
So it's perfect. We essentially get access to all these contracts. We don't have to pay anything for it. It all comes from the vendors themselves to MHEC, and we get experts to help us make purchases. We get deep discounts, and we get just massive contracts that may not be available to us through other means. So it's a win-win for us. It works out really well, and I'd love to see more people in Vermont, more libraries take full advantage of this. So just remember, these folks are here to help you when you kind of hit that wall of, I'm not really sure which contract, I'm not really sure which vendor, I'm not sure which product. They're here to help, and they will help you. So just be aware of that. And Caleb has another comment. The website could be a bit dense. Yep.
Yep.
Shayna has a comment too, which is great. Great, good.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
glad we made this point.
I
Yeah,
find, go
Go
ahead.
Mika.
Oh, so I do want to address that for both
Yeah.
Caleb and Shayna. We're aware it's a lot of content.
Yeah.
If it's not something you do every day, I'm certain that's not your responsibility on a day-to-day basis. And with that in mind, and we've worked with NELA and some other organizations, we're going to be launching an e-procurement tool. And the idea is to give you more of an Amazon experience. This tool would allow you to go in and search for an item, and maybe it's, a stapler, and then it would pull up every single contract we have that has a stapler on it. You could compare pricing. It might even give you recommendations for replacements when it comes to sort of generic items. Maybe you asked for a swingline stapler, and it's going to say, hey, but if you bought this Staples stapler, you can save a couple of dollars. So that's coming. The source we're going to be using is called Equal Level. And they have told us they can have us up and running in 6 weeks, which we chuckled at. We have over 750 suppliers. So we're anticipating that we will launch this, that will be through the launch probably within about 6 months or so. But if there's anyone here on the call today that would like to be part of sort of our pilot program to test this out and give us some feedback, we'd love to have you.
You don't have to answer now. Just keep it in mind.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be,
Oh, absolutely not. No pressure.
could be a really interesting and useful way to learn how to navigate the site. I think we're kind of wrapping up here with questions, unless anybody else has something they'd like to ask or a comment to make. Well, in that case, let me just say, Rika, Janet, and Ryan, it's been so nice to have you here today with us. It's going to be an extremely useful thing for us to have, and we'll edit out that middle part.
Yeah.
So we have a nice clean
Make us look
presentation
good.
here. And so yeah, it's just terrific. So we'll be able to share this with a broader audience in the Vermont library community, and we'll get some more people who are using MHEC to the full extent, at least
Great.
most of the way. So
That's
and
wonderful.
yeah, I'm always amazed at what a great thing this is for us, and just really happy to be part of it. So thank you again. And I guess we'll kind of wrap up here. Let me stop the recording.